Yo, what is going on, SoFi investors? Welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, I just want to talk about this past week in SoFi stock. We didn't really go anywhere this week, man. The last 5 days, we're up 0.12%. We're up 1 penny this week. So as you know, we all made an absolute killing on SoFi stock this week. It's been a tough year, man. There's no way around it. The stock is down 27.64%. It's like a killer, man. There's no way around it, especially because the market is crushing it, right? If you just in VOO, you're up 13% this year, and if you invested in SoFi stock, you are not up 13%. You're up nothing. You're actually down 27%, and it's tough. And I understand why a lot of you want to sell out of this stock. I completely understand because it's dead money, right? Luckily, I sell a lot of covered calls, like a buttload. On my 4,000 shares, I sell every single covered call that I could possibly sell to generate some income from the stock. And actually what I've been doing is using that income and buying more SoFi stock. I could be crazy, but I do think we will have our day in the sun, right? If you type in SoFi stock in Google and you type in news, all these articles come up. 2 stocks to buy on the dip before they skyrocket. Ignore the critics. Why SoFi stock is a must buy for long-term investors. The 3 most undervalued fintech stocks to buy in 24. SoFi to participate in upcoming investor conference. SoFi technology stock declines while the market improves. Some information for investors. But if you look at the majority of this news, a lot of these people writing these articles also believe in SoFi, right? 2 top stocks to buy on the dip before they skyrocket, right? Where are they saying to buy these stocks, right? And this video says Canadian Solar and SoFi, right? I can't play that actual video because I don't want to get copyrighted. But if we go on to Investor Place, ignore the critics. Why SoFi stock is a must buy for the long-term investor. SoFi technology stock has been on a rather protracted and consistent downtrend in recent years. That's the understatement of the year. The company's profile diversification beyond student loans has done little to stem the bleeding. Yeah, it's really crazy, right? Because SoFi started out as this small kind of student loan company and has really blossomed into this fintech giant. Not stock price wise, but if you look at the overall portfolio that SoFi has kind of acquired and built over the last few years with Galileo, acquiring a mortgage company in Wyndham Capital, they really have this interesting, diverse business model right now. And it's getting to the point now where student loans is soon going to be less than 50% of all the revenue SoFi generates. So they want to dive into the stock a little bit. Let's see if we can pull out some interesting stuff. Standing out in fintech, the era of fintech disruption has grown, highlighting distinction between startups and established entities. SoFi, an all-digital bank without physical branches, focuses its investment on top-tier digital experience, right? SoFi technology platform segment offering banking as a service continues to drive the company's growth, acquiring Galileo and Technisys. SoFi continues to provide back-end banking infrastructure for other fintech players in the space. Given the segment's revenue grew 21% to $94 million in Q1, with contribution profit doubling to $30 million. There's a lot to like about this current setup. I really agree with that too. So it's not all sunshine and rainbows, right? Let's take a look at the bearish view. SoFi stock doubled in 2023, but dropped 30% this year due to concerns about its lending business slowing growth. And I think the lending slowing growth is kind of a good thing, right? If you look at the numbers, the amount of defaults that are starting to happen in credit cards is a little alarming, right? And credit cards are always the first thing where delinquencies start. And then that starts to bleed into auto loans and mortgages, but it always starts with credit cards. And it's crazy because that's high interest. That's where you don't want to default because you get banged with those high APRs, right? Concerns are also becoming apparent regarding credit quality amid what appears to be an increasing consumer weaknesses with a $15.6 billion personal loan portfolio and a net charge-off ratio of 3.45% in Q1, up from 2.97% the previous year. Ongoing consumer weakness may impact SoFi's loan book and profitability. And there's nothing really to argue with right there. But going from 3.45% from 2.97%, that's not a huge concern in my opinion. But what is concerning is the amount of loans and revenue they get from loans is hugely concentrated in personal loans, right? So we got to just keep that in the back of our minds, right? But they're lending to really good people with solid credit scores, right? I think the average credit score on these loans is over 700. So it's a very quality person they're lending to. So we'll see how that holds up. We really just got to keep our eyes on unemployment. It just ticked over 4%, but the job numbers came in and blew out expectations. So like the job report was kind of weird. We actually ticked up from 3.9% to 4% with total unemployment, but the amount of jobs created this past month was huge in what they thought. I think they were predicting around 175,000. They came in around 250,000 plus new jobs created, right? So there's a weird thing happening, and we don't really know where interest rates are going to go forward. For SoFi and its investors, we don't want to see a rapid deceleration in rates. If rates start to go down, we want it to be very gradual over a spread out amount of time, because if it starts to happen too fast, it's going to be like the same thing when it went up real fast. There's going to be a bunch of fallout. SoFi could be in a little bit of trouble if people that they gave these loans to start to default. I don't particularly foresee that happening. I think Jerome Powell learned his lesson with the rapid acceleration of interest rates, that he's not going to do the same thing on the back end. That's just my opinion. Leave me your opinion in the comments below. I would love for you to give me your opinion on SoFi stock. Are you buying? Are you selling? My price target remains $10 for the end of 2024 and $15 by the end of 2025. But there are some things that we got to keep our eye on. The next earning is going to be huge for us. We don't want to see these bad numbers tick up, and we want to see a continuance of growth on all sides of the business. I want to see credit card profit up. I want to see loans up. I want to see Technisys and Galileo profits up. I want to see all the basket of SoFi stuff continue to uptrend, right? We have 2 quarters of profitability in the bag. We need 2 more, and then the 5th one will make us eligible for the S&P 500. But our market cap has to go from $7 billion to $15 billion in order to get into the S&P 500. That's around a $15 stock price. I don't see that happening in 2024. But we can hope it could possibly happen in 2025. All right, thanks for tuning in for this weekly SoFi update. I hope you like these videos. If you do, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Thanks again, guys. Peace.